I recently found a very interesting and profitable method of farming that can make you tons and tons of money and won't take up that much space on your farm. With the addition of the latest 1.5 update, we now have something called Deluxe Fertilizer. Before this update, it was actually impossible to harvest iridium quality crops, but with the use of Deluxe Fertilizer and upgraded Farmer's Lunch, we will have a 55% chance of harvesting an iridium quality crop and a 45% chance of harvesting a gold quality crop. If we do this on sweet gem berries, we will make an average of 5,000 gold per crop, and as an added bonus, we do not need to process these crops into wine or age them. We can sell them as soon as we harvested them. Doing this can make you absolute insane amounts of money, but there is a major problem with this technique. There is no reliable way to get rare seeds that we would need to grow these sweet gem berries. Actually, the only place that sells rare seeds is the traveling merchant. She only appears on Fridays and Saturdays, and she may not even sell them. This is definitely a big problem, but there is a solution. Take a look at my Ginger Island farm. I have split my farm into two sections. On the left, I have a bunch of sweet gem berries that are exclusively dedicated to me getting more seeds. And on the right, I have a farm that is exclusively dedicated to making me money. And I have more seeds then I know what to do with them. Every 21 days, I can harvest all of my gold making sweet gem berries and make a huge amount of money. This method does take a while to set up, but once everything is ready, this gold is basically free. Alright, let me show you how I managed to set up my Ginger Island farm for success. Step 1 is to get as many rare seeds as possible. I would recommend you buy a rare seed from the traveling merchant every single time she has one for sale. Even though I am in year 12, I never remember actually going to the traveling merchant, so I only have like 8 seeds, which is not much, but it's enough. Before you even plant these, you need to make sure you have the correct farming profession. You absolutely need the agriculturist profession because it makes all of your crops grow 10% faster. 10% doesn't sound like much, but it does add up. Now you need to craft some hyperspeed grow. You can buy the recipe for hyperspeed grow at Mr. Key's Walnut Room for 30 key gems. To actually craft hyperspeed grow, you will need 1 radioactive ore, 3 bone fragments, and 1 solar essence. To get radioactive ore, simply enter the dangerous versions of the regular mines on floor 1, get the radioactive ore, leave the mine, and repeat this process over and over again. I managed to get 200 radioactive ore on a single day, so this stuff is not that hard to get. For the solar essence, by the time you get to this point in the game, you probably already have a bunch of this stuff. If you don't, just kill mummies and ghosts in the Skull Cavern. If you use the Crusader enchant on your weapon, you will easily amass a ton of these stuff. Bone fragments are actually the hardest thing to get. Here at the dig site on Ginger Island, there are a bunch of these rocks that give you bone fragments. This is by far the best way to get bone fragments, but it still doesn't give you that much. Hyperspeed grow is quite expensive to craft, so if you don't have everything you need to craft these, just go buy Deluxe Speed Grow at Sandy's store on Thursdays. Hyperspeed grow is just much better. Usually, sweet gem berries take 24 days to fully mature. With hyperspeed grow and the agriculturist profession, they will only take 14 days to grow. 14 days is really not that bad. I started with 8 rare seeds, planted them in just 14 days. They were fully matured and ready to harvest. Then take your newly harvested sweet gem berries and place them all into the seed makers. Seed makers have an overwhelming chance of producing 2 seeds per crop, so you should always end up with more seeds than you had before. With only 8 sweet gem berries, I managed to produce 17 rare seeds. Now simply repeat this process again. Remember to craft some hyperspeed grow, plant all of your rare seeds, keep them watered, and come back in 14 days. And just like that, all of of your sweet gem berries will be ready to be harvested again. Turn all of these sweet gem berries into seeds using the seed makers again. And on an average, you should be able to double the amount of seeds you get every 14 days. I did this for 3 entire seasons, and then suddenly I had enough seeds to plant sweet gem berries on my entire Ginger Island farm. Remember, I only started with 8 seeds in the beginning, but it very quickly turned into more than enough. Hyperspeed grow will not be used up when you harvest your crops, so any sweet gem berry that you grow on the left side will grow at an accelerated rate. All of those sweet gem berries should almost exclusively be used to produce more seeds. But the right side of my farm is very different. This is the money-making side. So we won't be using Hyperspeed grow. Instead, we will be using Deluxe Fertilizer. You can buy the recipe for Deluxe Fertilizer at Mr. Key's walnut room for 20 key gems. To craft Deluxe Fertilizer, you will need 1 iridium bar and 40 sap. Farming iridium bars is quite easy, and I don't know about you, but I had a chest with about 4,000 sap in it because you just collect this stuff so easily over time. Remember that you don't need that much Deluxe Fertilizer because when you harvest your crops and replant a seed, immediately the fertilizer will stay there. I'm not sure if this is an intended feature or a bug, but it helps out a ton. Okay, so to recap, on the left side of our Ginger Island farm, we have a bunch of sweet gem berries that are growing using the Hyperspeed grow. And on the right side of our farm, we have a bunch of sweet gem berries growing using Deluxe Fertilizer. The crops on the left will fully mature, allowing us to constantly replenish our rare seeds. And because they grow so much faster than the right side, eventually you will have more seeds than you actually need. When this happens, you should stop turning gold quality sweet gem berries into seeds because each gold quality sweet gem berry sells for 4,500 gold, and that is a lot of gold. After 22 days, your gold making sweet gem berry crops will be ready for harvesting. But do not just start harvesting them because we need to increase our farming level to ensure we only harvest high quality crops. This is where the farmer's cooked food comes in. Farmer's lunch is a recipe that you will automatically unlock at level 3 farming, and you will only need a parsnip and an omelette to cook this food. Since we will probably be at level 10 farming at this stage of the game, with this food we will have a farming level of 13. So remember to cook this food using Key's seasoning, then it will give you a +4 to your farming skill. It's worth it, trust me. Now we have everything we need. Simply eat the farmer's lunch and then harvest all of the sweet gem berries. Don't forget to immediately replant the rare seeds so your fertilizer does not go to waste. Sweet gem berries cannot be processed into wine or jelly, so now you can simply drop them in the shipping bin and make a decent amount of money. I know this method seems like a ton of effort, and to be honest, it is a lot of effort, but it only takes a lot of effort to set it up. Once everything is set up, you pretty much only have to tend to your crops like once every 2 weeks. I also do not have an optimal layout on my Ginger Island farm. I wanted to make it look pretty for the video, but there is a ton of wasted space, so you can easily produce much more sweet gem berries than I am producing. I just think this is an incredibly efficient way of using your farm space on your Ginger Island farm. You still have your entire normal farm and greenhouse to use to plant other crops, meaning the sweet gem berry is kind of just making us money on the side, and that is why I think this is so effective. And that brings us to the end of the video. What do you think of the sweet gem berry farming method? Do you think it could work long term, or are star fruit or ancient fruits still better? Please let me know in the comments below, but for now I will see you in the next video.